Good evening, everyone. I am Michail Boncea. Today it is Wednesday, October the 11th, 2023. I'm an independent blogger that focuses on news and live events mostly, located in Greater Vancouver or Metro Vancouver, British Columbia. And I thank you all who are watching my podcasts. I podcast Monday to Friday every week. That is 5 podcasts a week. And sometimes on the weekends, but usually I take the weekends off. You can find my full videos on YouTube and TikTok, as well as on Instagram, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter. You can find my videos up to 15 minutes long under the same tag, Michail, Michail Boncea. Under all platforms, you'll find me under that name. Now, a bit about who or what I did in the past. In the past, I was for a few years an international sports photographer / reporter, during which time I covered the Vancouver Canucks from National Hockey League NHL, Vancouver Giants from Western Hockey League WHL, Memorial Cup, Man Cup, official photographer for the Canadian Army for a few events, and I was also over 3 years official photographer for the Delta Islanders Junior A lacrosse team in Delta, British Columbia, and for Newsminster Arts Council, British Columbia. Now, for about, roughly 2 months, I start podcasting. I'm still learning the ropes. I was used to being behind the camera, not in front of the camera. So I'm always looking for feedback on how I can improve my podcasts. What should I focus more on or less on? And on top of that, if you happen to have any live event, let me know about it. It could be a parade, a sports show, arts show, you name it. I'm always looking for new content, and I don't charge anything to post it. It will be posted, and I'll mention something about it in one of my upcoming podcasts. If you happen to have a company that is active, not fully, but at least active, you don't have to have the whole company based in Greater Vancouver or Metro Vancouver, British Columbia or British Columbia, let me know about it, and I will mention it again free of charge. Moving on, today's subjects that I will be talking about include these topics. TransLink announced creating a consultation for transportation regarding Burrard Peninsula, part of Metro Vancouver, British Columbia. News about the person that started a fire on Spirit of British Columbia ferry. What is going on with Metro Vancouver industrial land? Is there a shortage or not? What restaurant will open at 1210 Robson Street? Sony PlayStation console update? Disneyland Parks, new prices. Mitsubishi, United States news, US news, and what car they discontinued. How the diet pills and injections have affected the food industry. International oil news. Which company J.M. Smuckers bought? What is the Internal Revenue Services IRS asking from Microsoft Corporation? World Cup of Soccer, or football, as is mostly known around the world. 2024 news. An interesting proposal to help people have a better diet from an Alberta professor, Alberta, Canada. Top electric cars companies in China for the month of September 2023, top 3. And news regarding Chipotle restaurant, Mexican grill restaurant in Surrey, British Columbia. Okay. First news of the day, it is TransLink. For those of you who are not part of Metro Vancouver, or also known as Greater Vancouver, British Columbia area, TransLink is the public transportation company owned by the government who is in charge of the public transit. So TransLink announced yesterday that it's conducting a public consultation for Burrard Peninsula geographically area. It's a sub-area part of the Greater Metro Vancouver area. This area includes First Nations lands, City of Barnaby, British Columbia, City of Newsminster, British Columbia, University of British Columbia, and also the University Endowment land. It will work on recommendations related to cycling, driving, goods movement, public transit, and walking. This could have been very bad. The damage is yet still not published. But the 16 years old teenager, a male teenager, was arrested by the Royal Columbian Mountain Police, RCMP, in Sydney and North Saanich between 8:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. yesterday for starting a fire inside the washroom on the Spirit of British Columbia ferry boat. It was docked at Swartz Bay Terminal. The complete damage, like I said a few seconds ago, not yet known. Or if it is known, they haven't announced it. Some people are saying there is an industrial land crisis in Metro Vancouver. Is there or is there not? Well, it appears that it is. The industries are saying that due to meager supply, cost of land, rock bottom vacancies are causing the prices to skyward. It is causing companies now to move outside Metro Vancouver area, British Columbia, to the interior of British Columbia, or some even to Alberta, Canada. So what restaurant is going to be opening at the address of 1210 Robson Street? Well, the answer is Tico Pizza. It is supposedly going to be a wood-fired pizza place that also sells bubble tea. And when exactly will open, it has not been officially announced yet. Sony, has just dropped the news that the new Sony PlayStation 5 console, which will be on sale soon, and that came out of the blue. There was talk about it for a while that they're going to bring another new console for PS5, but this came literally out of the blue. It will be known as PS5 Pro or PS5 Slim, and it seems to have a detachable disk drive. Volume wise is going to be 30% less, and weight wise it will be 18% less compared to the previous PS5's models. Disneyland, just a couple of weeks ago, they are announcing that they were going to lower the kids' entrance, the park ticket price, in order to get more people back into the park because attendance was down. Well, that lasted a few days. Reason is, Disneyland has just announced that they're going to raise the ticket prices to the parks by about 10% on average, some less, some more. The visit day passes now, ticket pass, to go to any Disneyland park in US, it's going to cost $194 American, up from the current $178. Annual passes cost now $1,449. Disney claims that they need to do this in order to pay for the $60 billion that they are planning to spend in upgrading all the parks around the world, as well as the entrance ticket prices. The parking price to park at Disneyland has gone up, or will go up, from $25 currently to $30. Mitsubishi News, what you in the US wise, they have announced that the Mirage model, which was under $20,000, will be discontinued gradually by 2025. Last year, you'll be able to buy a new one. They're saying that it is due to cost and also sales. The sales have been declining, and it was not profitable anymore for them to keep it going. Due to increase in diet pills and diet injections, there has been a shift across the whole food market. The winner is Ozempic. The Ozempic use in the United States, has grown incredibly fast. It now has 10.6 million shots for obesity in May 2023 alone. So their business is booming. And along with that, a whole bunch of other companies, including diet pills and everything else. Now, on the other side, international and very large food companies and drink companies in the US has seen the stock market prices go way down, and they include Campbell Soup, Coca-Cola, Conagra brands, and PepsiCo. On average, their shares stock market-wise are down 13.5% this year. As people are starting to take diet pills and inject themselves to lose weight, they're, I guess, focusing more and more on what they put in their body. and these international food corporations are suffering because of it. On oil, international news or local news, depends how you want to say it. ExxonMobil is buying Pioneer Natural Gas for nearly $16 billion US. Pioneer Natural Gas is the largest shale producer in the US. With this, leaves only 4 companies now in US that control most of the shale oil development. J.M. Smuckers Corporation has tapped the US investment grade bond market today. It sold roughly about 3.5 billion US of bonds. Largest portion were 30-year fixed rate note. It did this in order to help finance the September 11th purchase of Hostess Corporation for 5.6 billion. I love Smucker's jams. Bit of a history. Smucker's was founded by Jerome Meron Smucker. He went selling homemade cider and apple butter door to door from the back of his horse-drawn wagon in 1897. News regarding Microsoft Corporation. United States Internal Revenue Services, IRS, is asking Microsoft for an additional tax payment of $28.9 billion plus penalties. Plus penalties and interest for the tax years from 2004 to 2013. World Cup of Soccer, football, as most people know it outside North America, has a new bid for the 2034 games. This is a group of countries together. It will be led by Indonesia and will include Australia, Malaysia, and Singapore. The other official bid is Saudi Arabia. And I think great idea, especially now with the budgets being so tight. University of Calgary Associate Professor and dietitian Dana Olstad has an idea to keep people healthy that might be on a tight budget, and that is to give every person a $10.50 per week subsidy so that they can eat healthier food and offset in the long run the much more expensive healthcare costs. They're just doing the experiment on it in Alberta, but I think it's a great idea because it would allow people to eat more vegetables and fruits that otherwise they can't afford to buy. Now, the biggest market car-wise, electric-wise, is China. That comes as no surprise. For September 2023, the numbers are out, and it looks bad for Tesla. The number one electric car sales in China was BYD, with a massive difference. They sold 131,304 cars, electric, in the month of September in China, and that's a market share of 26.26%. Second overall in the market share, it was AION. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. It claimed second overall in sales with 10.07%. Tesla came in a distant third in sales with only 43,507 cars sold, and capturing a market share of only 8.7%. Chipotle Mexican Grill is opening 2 new locations in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. Well, it opened one. It's opening the second one tomorrow, October the 12th, at Flintwood Village location, address 9082 152nd Street. The King George Hub location, located at 3900 King George Boulevard, opened in September the 20th this year. Thank you all for having watched my podcast. Again, if you like the content, please click like, please subscribe, share the podcast, and see you all tomorrow.